Good morning, pregame crew. How are ya? It is Tuesday, September 19th, 2023, 6:20 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time. Good morning. Welcome to the pregame show. Glad you're here. I officially get started in 9 minutes, and you're like, well, you big dummy, why are you on now? Well, I like to kind of warm up my TA muscles. I have been working on TA the last few hours, getting this show ready for you, but it helps me to warm up a little bit. It gives time for people to come in the room, settle down, and we get a feel for the flavor. So I'm going to say hello to my friends. Good morning, Shake and Bake, Greg, Patrick, Ann, Andre. Hey, Tom, Hector, Fernando, Marvin. Hey, Greg, Chris, B-Hawk, Bennett, Casey, Basque. Hey, Topher. Thanks, Night Truck. Hey, Ella, Expat, Mary. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy pregame to you. 1 second. I got a cough. I hope you had a good trading day yesterday. I hope you're not getting too chopped up. We do have a little bit of sideways action as it's a hurry up and wait for FOMC meeting tomorrow and the interest rate decision. We do have Instacart IPO today. That should bring some hype, but I do not recommend IPO trading for newer traders or traders who are inconsistently profitable. IPO trading is very tough. Usually shorts aren't available easily. We for sure don't have options on them. It becomes a little difficult. You don't have historical levels to play off. So be careful with that. Sure, inevitable. I'll do it right now. Let me take this off the fibs because it's messy. Actually, let me do it on NASDAQ. This is what I drew y'all yesterday. You see it? You get lower lows without follow through, higher highs without follow through, lower lows without follow through. And essentially this is bull exhaustion at the top and bear exhaustion at the bottom. You typically want 3 touches to the top and bottom on your trend lines. 1 second. We only have 2 touches, but we closed the show yesterday morning with me looking at this, telling y'all watch this megaphone trend line. We could get a bounce here. So this is the anatomy of a megaphone. Let me go to Hang Seng. I like to mark that one up because I don't use it a ton. And so the psychology is higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high. And you're expecting someone to reach the exhaustion. Well, bulls get tired of defending this, or bears get tired of defending this. So sorry it's shaky. That's what the magnet on it does that. My hands aren't shaky. But that's the overall psychology. Whenever you see a pattern, go over in your head. What's the psychology here? And a cup and handle, inverse, head and shoulders, whatever it is, bull flag, bear flag. It's just usually where someone is taking a break on at least the bull flags and bear flags. They're continuation patterns. Good morning, Scotty. Hey, Mike. Anybody get NVDA yesterday? That was unbelievable. Remind yourself that you are a retired trader. Every day you come into the computer and you're ready to trade, just tell yourself, I'm a retired trader. I need my high conviction play setup to set up in order for me to trade and take me out of retirement. Over trading is a killer, an absolute killer. Hey, Ella. For that one, yes, I did 4 hour, but you can do a megaphone on any time frame where it lines up. Right now, a megaphone lines up on the NQ 4 hour. Let me go back up to the top. I have my notes off screen. I copy and paste those for TCG members when I am done with the show. We'll look at the economic calendar. We do have some news coming up in 4 minutes. Building permits. It's a 3-star event. I don't know that it's going to terribly move the market with FOMC tomorrow. We'll see. So that's your events today. And then don't forget Instacart IPO today and FOMC tomorrow. Yes, that little engine that could. And I will be wrapping up this session at 6:50 Mountain Time, 8:50 Eastern, because Charting Man Dan is going live. We have a free open house at 8 a.m. Eastern with Charting Man Dan, and he goes over everything he's watching. Sometimes he takes live trades. I strongly suggest that you tap into that if you've never taken advantage of a free open house. And don't forget that starting October 2nd, that week, Tuesdays and Thursdays will be for TCG members only. And I'm getting a code. I have a code for pregame members only. So if pregame members, y'all have been here thick and thin the last couple years, we have a code for 10% off annual if you want to join TCG, so you can ensure you get the pregame 5 days a week. And that code is pregame 365. I asked for this because I know a lot of you were pretty upset that all 5 shows aren't going to be public in a couple of weeks. So pregame 365 is the discount code for membership, and then Commando, the link to the open house is pinned right here. So if you go to the top of the chat, it's pinned right here, and you can click on that link. And therefore, I will be ending quickly and punctually on time at 6:50. I have a disgusting alarm set. Okay. Where's my chat? Good morning. LMT doesn't look good. Awesome, Peter. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Peter says that he got the NVDA gap down trade idea from pregame yesterday and it worked out perfectly. Thank you for that. No, thank you for being here. Gold and silver look good. They're taking advantage of dollar weakness. We'll look at those in the regular tickers. LMT. On the daily, you're looking for a lower high. Hourly overbought is typically a good area to go search for that daily lower high. I don't like the way this chart is set up at all. Weekly downtrend, monthly downtrend. It is not a good look. AMD is an interesting one. Did I put that on my list? No. So AMD, we're looking for a weekly higher low, 99.58. Yesterday we hit 99.45. We broke it by 13 cents. I'm still considering yesterday's low a double bottom on the weekly. So that's what bulls want to see hold in order to possibly get a bounce for that monthly higher low, is looking at this weekly as if it's a double bottom and then possible bounce. So over 102.99, that would be lovely for the bulls, but then where do you go? 107 is still up here and odds favor a lower high compared to that level on the 4 hour and the daily. Right, Paul. That's right. Pre-game is not necessary. If you're a member of TCG, you will get it all 5 days a week. I may have said that wrong when I said pre-game just for our pre-game crew, but no, it's combined. It's included. I don't think so, Night Truck. I heard about this morning that we had that pop overnight on the US 10-year. It could have been just a liquidity issue. I'm not worried about it. As long as the dollar is sitting down, I'm not worried about yields. And we do have an auction today. Here, 20-year bond auction at 1 p.m. Eastern. Hey, Jam on it. All right, you ready to get started? Let's get this show on the road because we got to be done in 20 minutes. So let's be efficient. Here we go. This is who I am. I'm Chart Guy Lori, and I'm part of the Chart Guys community. We teach technical analysis. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter at Chart Guy Lori, that would be wonderful. What I do here every morning is I show you my table. Overall, I would say a lot of the items were push, so I did not denote bull or bearish, and some of them were standing out, and I highlighted those in this blue shade. Yesterday it was VIX 50 day. Let me see if I can find it. VIX. Oh, come on. Okay. So for me, yesterday morning, VIX had an hourly triple top at 7:52 my time with the daily 50 MA overhead. So let's look at 7:52 on the market. This was a big clue for me yesterday, and I went over it with y'all. So that's right here. Right here, and then we got a good bounce off of that because that daily 50 MA on VIX held overhead. Y'all see it? It held, and then that triple top held, and that was the pullback spot. So some mornings things jump out at me, and I try to highlight it for you. Today it's dollar weakness and Bitcoin strength, which is good for the market overall. VIX still has the daily 50 MA overhead. However, I am watching this potential 4-hour IHS. Let's go see if that's still developing. Yes. So on VIX, this looks a little dangerous for market bulls on VIX. So something I'm keeping an eye on, and Bitcoin had strength overnight. Now let's go back to the indices and see if I can just, Francisco. He says he's learning too much. Doubt it. Maybe, hopefully. All right, dollar weakness, 4-hour downtrend. This is benefiting metals and Bitcoin. So the next bounce, we're looking for a dollar, 4-hour lower high. Again, this is great for equities. We have FOMC tomorrow. Today could be a hurry up and wait situation. If we look at Hang Seng was up 0.37 overnight, and DAX was kind of flat last time I looked. It's down a little bit more, 0.20. Again, hurry up and wait for FOMC. And I'll show you the few charts I'm looking at to give me a clue if we're going to stay inside yesterday's range today. Okay. ES. The most logical thing, excuse all these lines. I'm very sorry, but I need them to show y'all something. So from the high of Thursday, September 14th to the low of this Monday, that was yesterday, we have bounced about 35%. About 35% we've bounced. So we are not out of the woods. We could absolutely break that daily low. And as you can see, we're opening up inside yesterday's range. As a market bull, I would want to see a bounce at least up into the 50% retrace. So pull back, a higher low would be possible. Right now, a higher low is not guaranteed. So if we do it the same way we just did this, on ES from the high last Thursday to the low of Monday, we would need to bounce into 15,525 in order to take a daily higher low off the, in order to increase the odds of daily higher low. We need a little bit more bounce today. That's what I'm looking for with this megaphone bottom, is I'm looking for a bounce into 15,500. On ES, I'm looking for a bounce into 4526. And Dow, I'm looking for a bounce into 35,103. I want to get just enough bounce going. And wouldn't it make sense, y'all, for us to get this high, low, and then EQ into tomorrow's FOMC? That's what I'm looking for. Maybe not quite to the 65% retrace, but this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that hurry up and wait, no damage, no harm, no foul, and we just go sideways in an area where we protect the lows, we protect the highs, and we go sideways, and we wait for this decision tomorrow. That would make the most sense to me. And I hope that I was able to articulate it and it made sense to you. RTY is pretty weak. It is pretty weak, but I have something for you on, we've got this double bottom here on the weekly on RTY 1851 and 1850.90. If that holds, that could be a great bottom fish area, because you could just bottom fish and risk a couple dollars on this. And so that made me go look at IWM as one of our Queen of the Mountain trades. Look where IWM is. We're sitting on the daily 50 MA. Well, not, excuse me. We're hovering above the weekly 50 MA and the weekly 200 MA, looking for that potential weekly higher low relative to 181.61. I like that bottom fish area because of the risk to reward. I have a high probability of getting stopped out, but if it works, the reward will be super nice. And I have so many things to mention. I forgot to mention, if you want to look right here, the Anatomy of a Trade, a free ebook. You can click on that and you can get a free ebook of the anatomy and finding the right components for an A+ trade. All right, so let's go look at Bitcoin. It's all about yesterday's lows. Let me land that plane. As far as indices, it's all about yesterday's low. As long as we hold yesterday's low and shake off bear push, then we're good into tomorrow, and then we'll see what tomorrow brings with the FOMC decision. So Bitcoin was strong. Last night, it got over Monday's high, which I think that was made Sunday. But we have a double top here, 27427, 27460. And again, daily 50 MA overhead. I like the squeeze we have going on in Bitcoin. And we've made enough room for an hourly higher low on the next pullback. Okay, yesterday's Bitcoin strength told us don't go overly short this market. So for me, Bitcoin strength, dollar weakness tells me don't get overly short this market right here, right now. Ethereum was a little weaker. It was unable to get over Monday's high overnight. All right, gold. We're getting an upper wick of bears selling into this. We have a daily higher high. 4 hour, we have an uptrend. Hourly, we have an uptrend. 15 minute, we're losing the uptrend right here, right now. So we're watching the dollar. Let me show y'all my ideal scenario. I just got to walk it out. Walk it out, walk it out. Daily 50 MA here. That's what I'd like to hit, 1965. And then wait for an hourly oversold, holding this low of 1921 and looking for an entry here. So I'm not interested in gold right here. I would love for it to bounce to 1965, hit that daily 50 MA, pull back, and then look for a daily higher low. In my ideal world, that's how it would work. Silver's getting a little bit more of a bounce because we know it is the riskier asset. So on bounces, it bounces harder, and on drops, it drops harder. So silver is having a wonderful hourly uptrend. 15 minute, we just lost this low. This could be a megaphone though. We have some more volume coming in. We'll see. I do like commodities, but it's probably going to be a Thursday thing and not a today thing. There are almost 300 of you and only 71 likes. If you could hit the like button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Oil. Y'all. I hope somebody made 5 figures at least on this, if not 6 figures on this. This was just one of the prettiest charts I've ever seen, that I've ever gushed and gushed and gushed. I'm looking to potentially short oil, but I'm waiting for weekly to get overbought. We're not overbought yet. I had this arrow here yesterday. I'm waiting for it to get over 70. It hit over here 82 before it pulled back. So oil's on fire. Pullbacks are for buying until bears prove otherwise. API estimates after hours today at 4:30 Eastern, and inventory tomorrow. Oil is a beautiful sight. Apple, weekly inside bars. And this is the chart that I referenced earlier about if Apple can stay inside, I would anticipate the market would have an inside day. This becomes the most critical chart for me out there. Is can Apple stay inside yesterday's range? If so, we're back into that hurry up and wait scenario where we're waiting sideways, waiting for FOMC tomorrow. This is not, when we have this beautiful higher high, we pull back, we're holding the EMAs, but we're right in the middle of this range here. We're at like 33% pullback. We're closer to the top than to the bottom, but we could just go sideways all day on Apple, and I think that would lay out the structure for a daily inside bar on the market. Amazon is weak. We have an hourly squeeze. What did I write in my notes? TCG members, I'll give you these notes when I'm done. Daily higher low is the more likely scenario, and we have this hourly squeeze. So we're looking for this daily higher low. All right. Hourly got oversold, and it hasn't marked the low yet, but we did squeeze. Let's see. Trying to see where we could possibly bottom fish. Wouldn't it be awesome if it was gapping down? It's not gapping down. We may get a bottom fish opportunity of 139.22, attempting to nail that daily higher low. However, if Apple's inside, I doubt this any type of long idea would get much traction. NVDA, y'all stay with me, have a lot of lines here. Okay, we're looking for a weekly higher low. And y'all, I typed this earlier. It was fast and messy, but look at this. Weekly higher low possible, Microsoft, Nvidia. IWM is a double bottom right now. It's possible, but it's not highly probable. Here, it's probable. ELF, a weekly higher low possible. ZX, FMCI, it's a little weak, but it's possible. Adobe, weekly higher low possible. NASDAQ and ES. So Powell could go wreck all of these setups, but it's just something started making a list. I'm like, wow, a lot of these names are looking for weekly higher lows. That doesn't bode extra bearish right now. Okay, so now stay with me on Nvidia. We got that. We're looking for a weekly higher low. 4-hour got oversold. We waited for that push down, and we got that gap exhaustion play to the long. And right here, the hourly 50 MA is overhead on a lot of charts, okay? A whole lot of charts. And y'all know I call that the Great Wall of Louisiana. That's not right. I was looking at it on the hourly. There it is. Okay, so the resistance from Friday, midday, is 44484. Let me mark it off right here. Okay, so that is the resistance from intraday Friday. Now let's look at lower time frames. Yesterday's high is still holding right now. And we have Friday high, intraday resistance and hourly 50 MA and 15-minute overbought all in the same area. Y'all see that? 444s. All right, so 445 is the resistance on NVIDIA. That would make 15-minute overbought, and I think that would be a great area to potentially top fish. Let's see if NVDA doesn't make it over. If we stay within yesterday's range, we could use yesterday's high as a top fish level. But we have plenty of room for higher low compared to yesterday's low. So NVDA, I'm looking more bullish than bearish on a pullback. But if it were to pop straight into 445, I'm looking more bearish then. Gosh, I hope that made sense. In my head, that made a lot of sense. Good morning, Lyndon. Hey, Corey. Yep, that disk short worked pretty well, didn't it? Okay, Tesla is weak. Daily higher low is anticipated. So we're expecting a daily higher low relative to 243.27. We have a gap down here at 256.52. I'm not saying all gaps have to be filled. It could act as a magnet. This daily chart, it's not broken. If we could bounce up a little bit and stay inside yesterday's range, I would say that would be a win for Tesla bulls. Here's that gap right here. If we could fill that gap, I think that would be game on for bulls to look for a potential daily higher low right at the daily 50 MA and that daily gap. Hello, hello. Adobe sitting on the daily 50 MA. We're looking for a weekly higher low. 4-hour got oversold. It had a good bounce yesterday. We're squeezing. I like Adobe for a higher low bottom fish compared to yesterday's low, looking for the weekly higher low. Y'all see it? We're looking for the weekly higher low. So I like a bottom fish, and we may have to use intraday level 530. 530 for a potential bottom fish, and we're getting over the hourly EMAs, but we still got to deal with that 50 MA. IWM, $182.39, $182.37. We have this daily double bottom. We're down here testing it right now at the daily 200 MA. I like a bottom fish of 182.30. And because if you're wrong, right now, what have you risked? 17 cents? That's it. So I like the risk to reward there. JPM, potential daily bull flag. I would approach this with gap rules. Okay, so the high of yesterday, 149.14. If bears hold this area, push it down and bulls defend and we turn, That would be a long signal right there at yesterday's high, looking for this daily bull flag. Does that make sense? So I'm trading this with gap rules in mind. And I would say 149, all the way to 149, you're still okay. But you want that gap filled within the first 30 minutes and turn and burn, meaning turn upwards. Filling the Tesla gap would mean it is weaker. And weaker means you're comparing it to something else. What are we comparing it to? I don't know what your benchmark we're using, but if the market is holding up and Tesla is dropping down to the gap, then yes, Tesla would be relatively weaker. All right, we're looking for a weekly high or low on Microsoft. Y'all see it? Yesterday we had a super tight range. We're right below the daily 50 MA. We're squeezing on the hourly chart. I like a bottom fish on Microsoft to yesterday's low, looking for the weekly high or low. And VFS is ninjas only. Y'all look at this high compression squeeze. This is a low float name. We have the owner, the CEO, he has a ton of shares. So the float that's available to trade is very low. And this name we got a lot of bag holders. It went all the way to $93, so a ton of bag holders. But y'all look at that pressure building. Do y'all see it? So I would take a long over 1764 and a short below 1698. Recognizing those aren't the lows and highs of yesterday, but I don't want to use those lows and highs. They're too far away. Just taking a risk on this high volatility, low float name. And it does have options, and ARM now has options. ARM is weak. And I'm just telling you these high volatility names for those of you who specialize in scalping these. Not everybody specializes in scalping these. I don't. It's not my favorite setup. You got NVDA? Awesome, Duke the Fool. Guess you're not a fool after all. You smart. There is no mountains in Louisiana, no. No. Well, it's 2 minutes until I have to shut it down. I appreciate you being here. I'm sorry I have to end so promptly, but Charting Man Dan will be live in 10 minutes. All you have to do is click on this link right here that's pinned in chat. Dakota, a lot of these charts are making this pattern because of just general zero DTE and the volatility that brings about. So, yeah, it's a difficult pattern. You're welcome, Night Truck. All right, y'all use stop losses, TCG members. I will have these notes to you in a second. And click on that YouTube link and watch Dan live, free, open house. Bye, y'all.